Here we are, back again.
Back again. Cue the lights.
Mike is back. Jen's back.
I'm also back.
Yeah. We got an interesting one today, right?
I was about to say, guess what?
What?
So,
chicken butt.
And a few episodes back, you've been hanging out with Viv too much. A few episodes back, we said we were going to talk about adult friendships, adult relationships, and then extended family on the next one. And then we just never talked about the extended family.
We did not do that.
So we're going to do that today.
Now.
Yeah.
I'm excited. These are good ones. Yeah, there's a ton of questions about this.
I'm like, I hope we have enough to say on this topic.
Oh, Lord, we could talk hours about family.
Yeah, that's true.
Family,
That's true. I guess I just don't know, because this was a very recommended or suggested topic for us to talk about, but I'm not quite sure exactly what everyone wanted to talk about. I think what I got from like DMs and in the suggestion box were that a lot of people struggle to have good relationships with extended family. And so we'll just kind of have to see.
I don't think it was just that. I mean, there's a lot of people, I'm sure there are people that have situations like that, but there's also just navigating changes when it comes to life and it comes to marriage, kids, development phases, family maybe in different states, family that lives next door. Everyone has a different dynamic with who and what their family are, right?
No, that's true. So we can talk about quite a few things. We've got like roles as parents, creating our own culture, having boundaries and expectations with families, how we do traditions, how we teach our kids about families.
It's a tradition.
Blended families and whatnot. We can't really add to that.
It's a blended family.
You're kidding.
Is that like a smoothie?
Okay. No, absolutely not. It's a hot take. Maybe we should take that out.
I'm just kidding. I came from a blended family, kind of.
Brady Bunch, blended family.
Well, they worked it out.
The Brady Bunch?
Yeah,
they did. They were successful in that. The Brady Bunch. So
it's that's a clearly acceptable. Whatever happened? How did they is there a backstory to that, or did they just all start in the home together?
Did you not watch the introduction? Till this one day when this lady met this fellow.
Yeah, I know, but they met. What happened before? Like, what's the genesis
They obviously had other marriages and had children.
There needs to be a reboot of pre-Brady Bunch.
Before?
Like, what happened before? And it's all drama. I mean, something happened because they never even talk about their prior life.
Because I think they were trying to be like progressive and being like, people are getting divorced.
None of the kids have issues for the divorce or just moving in with a new family. It's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch the show, so maybe they did have that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just talking stupid.
No, they didn't have it before. It literally was just a happy song at the intro that
like real life. Because that's real life.
Yeah.
There is never drama or issues.
You know what I think happened? I'm pretty sure I remember an episode. Didn't they both get written in as like the spouses are dead? They died.
Well, that's even
because they
sadder.
Never talk about the mom or the dad, the other one. There's no co-parenting. Wasn't that there's no got to drop the kids off at their dad's. There's no child.
Right.
Child.
Yeah,
what's
that would
it called?
make sense.
Support. What's it called?
Support.
No.
Child support.
Child support. There's no talk about it being late.
Well, he was an architect, right? So he had some dough, and that house was nice.
House was nice.
Right.
It was a fun kitchen. I remember that.
Yeah, and they had a maid. Alice the maid.
I'm really doing some brain stretching.
Or was it a nanny? I mean, they had 6 kids.
Alice?
So you got to have some help
She's a
with
nanny.
6 kids. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, she's a nanny. Pretty sure.
But she was always cooking.
Is she still alive, the actress?
Probably not.
I'm going to look it up.
Anyway, let's...
I'm going to look it up.
So speaking of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
So one of the questions, should I just... You want to jump right into it?
Yes.
All right. So one of the questions people ask is about shifting of roles, right? So I guess this one specifically was related to more when you become a parent. Like how do you navigate yourself with your parents or your in-laws? You go from being a child.
She died in 2014, Alice.
Oh, rest in peace.
I know. That's sad. Anyways, continue.
Hey, great legacy.
Died in San Antonio, Texas.
Well, there you go. Okay.
But I'm back. I'm back.
And now back to these.
Yes, now I'm back.
So the question was more related to about when you're going from a child to get married, you now have a new family, and then you become the parent. And how do you navigate the shifting of roles from being the child or the spouse to being the parent? Right. So I guess it's more about the navigation.
And we haven't done that. So I don't have.
Yes, we have.
Going from a parent with an adult child? We don't have an adult child.
No, that's not what we're talking. I think it's more about internal like that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. How does your role change from being someone's child to being a parent yourself?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I misheard you.
And learning, and then it's also this learning it. How do you set boundaries with your parents while still respecting them? These are all related to the same thing.
Okay.
And then balancing. How do you balance being a daughter and a spouse and a parent all at once? So those are all related to the same thing. It's kind of bundled in those 3 questions. So I guess tackle the first one. How did your role change from being someone's child to being a parent? Because you have an extra strong bond to your parents to the point where, they could do no wrong.
That's not true.
100%.
It's not true.
100%.
No, I think that's evolved in the past,
but I'm saying early on.
8 to 10 years. Don't you think it's
right,
evolved?
But we've been married 15 years.
Well, I was really young. I was in my young 20s.
Right. Correct.
So I feel like it was still a very not immature mindset, but you're still I'm fresh out of the house. Because even when you're in college, you're still under your parents' watch. You're still talking to them constantly. They're still paying for your stuff. You're still under your parents' wing.
Right.
Or at least I was. That was and I was there first. So I also I think, takes a major key in that. I was the only girl. I only had brothers, and I was the oldest child. So the first time for them to experience that. So I just think you met me. I was barely 21, and I think I was just still straight from, again, I pretty much went from being under my dad's care to then meeting you and getting married and switching to with being cared for by you. So I was very lucky in that regard. I was very well taken care of, and I wasn't air quotes alone for a long time in that regard. But do you see what I'm saying? I wasn't a 37-year-old woman. Well,
that's a unique perspective then.
Yeah.
Because I think there are probably some people out there that had those. You kind of went quickly from college to New York for an internship, back here, then you met me.
Right.
I was older and already been married prior, so I had a different perspective on what our, kind of the roles and where they would be. So, from your perspective, what was that navigation? Because there were times, and there was, I'll be honest, I think early on we did have a little, I wouldn't say conflict, that's not the right word, but it was a navigation of okay.
Conversations.
Okay, why are you going to your parents with this right now? This is us. This isn't something you should be, bringing to them right now.
No, and I don't think I did that a lot. It's just at the very beginning, if we would Mike and I would have an argument, I might call my mom and talk to my mom about it. And luckily my mom's very stable, mentally stable, to where most of the time she was like, Jen, you need to talk to Mike. He's not in the wrong on that. And you know that. You and my mom are stupid similar, and she has your back on a lot of things. And I'm very lucky that I have parents that can put their love for me and their judgments to the side and kind of guide me with a healthy marriage in mind, right? Versus a parent who might be a little more immature and be that's only, I guess, only counseling me for my benefit. Does that make sense? They don't do that. They do it for our benefit. So yes.
Yeah, we are lucky.
Luckily, my parents never steered me wrong but that only happened not often, because I remember I would tell you, I'd be well, I talked to my mom, and you'd be not appropriate, kindly. And I'd be it's not. And I just didn't know. I was so young. And then I really quickly, I want to say that was only the first few months of marriage. I really quick locked in on.
Well, you've always used your mom, fortunately, as she is a good counselor in a standpoint of bringing a level head to the situation. You are blessed to have her as someone that's not over-siding with you or over-siding with me. I think she sits in, like you said, what you just said is that they take the route of doing what's best for us. And that's a great person to have in your life. And I think hopefully everyone has somebody like that in their life, and you don't. It's a hard thing not to have, because you have somebody who loves you no matter what. And at the same time is going to give you truth. And that's where you have an advantage, because we've talked about this in the prior episodes about when you were struggling after Berkeley about what to do, and there was some jealousy, and there were some things that you were going through that you had to work through independent of me.
I don't think jealousy is, I think it's resentment, but
those are
neither here or there.
Okay. Well, I think that's just, I think they're tied.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's those kind of combine into it. And so whether it was resentment or jealousy, it was in the standpoint of you were a bad mom at any point, but your mom gave you reflection, and then look what's occurred because of good guidance from her, right?
Right. No,
and also encouraged, like that. There's a lot of that came where my perspective coming into this relationship was I was older. I was 35, 37,
34.
34. We got married at 35.
Yeah.
Wow. At least, yeah. Anyway, but with that
23.
being said, I'd already been in the military, had one career, left that, was in corporate America, and I lived in a different state than my parents and my family. So,
and you're a boy.
Well, yeah.
It's
so
different.
I left at
really
I left at
different.
17 when I went to the West Point, and then I was basic training at 17. I turned 18 at basic training, or Beast we called it. So my life had left states at that time. So I had already left, I guess, the safety net of my parents a long time ago, and I didn't necessarily want or felt that I needed them at that point.
You're
which
also
is probably,
a guy.
But also,
I'm going to send that back.
But also
the whole
at the
time.
same time, that's not. I don't know if that arm's length to my family is appropriate as well, right? Like there's a standpoint of like the balance that you need to have to bring into it. It's like, I'm going to do this on my own, because I do think everyone needs people in their life.
I think it's I really do think it's personality driven. Like I look at my mom. My mom graduated high school, and she went to a college across the country. Went from Ohio to Texas, and that's what she wanted to do, and she loved it. I could never do that. So I think it's very personality driven too. To where like I have always been. I'm sure there's like a term for it, but I'm a parent pleaser. Like I want my parents to be proud of me and happy with me. And even though I do have very strong opinions and I don't always agree with them as an adult, I still would think they know that I'm a parent pleaser. Like if anything bugs me, I have to tell them about it and I have to resolve it. And I don't want them upset with me. And I don't know if that's ever going to go away, because I'm 37 and it still is what it is. And I don't know, where you're like, I literally don't give a crap what my mom thinks about my parenting
I care.
style. You've said that, and
No. I would say,
I want that.
Let me qualify that. I don't care, but I do care, right? If my dad or mom were to say you're doing, I don't think you're doing this right, of course, you're going to feel a little hurt by that a little bit, but that'll quickly get over, because again, and I've said this even in the prior podcast, I look at it as like, am I doing my role and responsibility as a husband to you? And am I doing what I believe is best for my kids? And of course, I don't know everything, because this is the first time to be parents, and we have a 12-year-old, down to a 6-year-old, and we're still navigating new phases of life, or teenage and things like that. And are we probably going to make some mistakes? Sure, but we're going to do through love and through the best effort we can. Yeah. So I look at that as my perspective. Am I doing what I believe is best in that moment, without selfishness?
Well, yes.
And then if I can say yes, then it's like, hey, you can have your opinions, you can judge me what it is, but you know what? It really doesn't matter, because I also do look at that as biblical, is that a man is meant to leave their house and is meant to become their own patriarch of the family. And that is a role that I've taken on with this, is that I really, not patriarch, that's not really the right word I'm looking for, but I do believe it's my responsibility as a father to lead as a father.
Well, I think, so my brothers would say the same thing. They're like, why would you care what they think? Like, nicely. And I'm like, because they're my parents? Like, you psycho? And so I don't know if that's you can't stereotype every gender and every role. Everyone's different. But I don't know if it's maybe a firstborn thing or like only girl thing. Yeah. Maybe women are more like nurturing and naturally tender, like, and they want approval from their mom and their dad. I don't know, but I'm just saying you sound just like Kevin Colt.
I mean, and I do think there's something innately different between men and women when it comes to that. And I've told you the story. I spent 17 years in the medical field, and thousands of surgeries I went through in the cardiac space, where we would go in and post-operative go talk to the patient's family. And I worked at pacemakers, defibrillators, people don't know, but I would go afterwards and often talk to the family about, what to expect with it, how to manage it, what the follow-ups are, and all, because we were very involved, despite it being industry, I was very involved in patients' lives. Mm-hmm. Through that, I probably can count on one hand that there was a son there with their mom. That's
devastating. Every boy mom is crushed right now.
With the dad. Sorry, with the dad. With the dad, not a mom. It was with the dads. It was always the daughters.
Yeah.
And also the daughter-in-laws. more than the sons.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm telling you, one hand I could probably count on there. Now, the sons would be there often the day afterwards. They would check in. It wasn't like it was this completely independent thing. But with that being said, and it was
the women rushing.
And it wasn't, we weren't doing triple bypass type surgeries. These things were called elective procedures for the most part. So with that being said, it wasn't it was from a subset of 17 years in it, where it was like the vast majority of people that are there still connected to the family were the daughters or even the daughter-in-laws more than the sons.
I think that makes sense. Like if you think about like, and again, we're very much vastly stereotyping. We obviously, everyone is different and we can't say everyone's like this, but for the sake of stereotyping, like when they get a call, someone's in the hospital, it's like the woman is like, bye, and like doesn't think of anything. And they're like, I'm leaving work. I'm doing, like, I feel like they're more, and the men are like, okay, I'm in the middle of my work day. I'll be there. I feel like the women is like, as women, we are natural nurturers and we will literally drop everything if we can to rush. Whereas men, y'all are somewhat slower sometimes. Does that make sense? Like to nurturing?
No, that's not. It's not slow to no, because I would look at it as a perspective of all the, like, okay, who's going to take care of all the other situations going on? Because I have, and this is my perspective, right? Mm-hmm. We have our kids, we have our house, we have our house is weird to say. There's the companies that we have. There's a lot of things that are in place, right? Now, if it's an emergency procedure, if something happened, of course I'm going to go fly out to Wisconsin with my mom.
Right.
I wouldn't even question that. I'd be like, Jen, I got to go. Right. Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't even be a question, and you would encourage that as well.
Totally.
But if it's like, hey, I got a routine procedure that needed to get done, and I'd be like, okay, Jackie, you probably got that. Talk to one of my sisters, right, that are there. I'd be like, okay, it's a routine procedure.
But that's my point. Yeah. A woman will be like, heck no, it's me in that room.
Yeah.
Like women are quick to nurture. I think that's God ordained, God given, same thing, whatever. Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe that's something biological there, to where like if something is broken or someone is hurting, women are like, I'm going to be there, but can't catch me not at the bedside. Like, whereas men are like, all right, you good? She's got people.
Well, cool. that's what, anytime somebody that I know has a daughter, I'm like, it's awesome. They're going to have somebody take care of you when you're older.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's my point.
But I will say this with our kids anyway. You're talking about this moving away, and I moved away. Your mom moved away.
Yes. I would never move away.
Really hope our kids don't move away.
I will encourage them not to.
I mean, it's okay to like go to college. Like, hey, explore when you're older. Find your ways.
What if they find a partner up, like if they're going up somewhere up north? What if they find a partner there and then they're stuck? From me, away from me.
I mean,
forever.
I got stuck with you in Texas, right?
I think there's another word for that. You got lucky.
I got lucky. Lucky to be Texas. Hee-haw.
No, I think it's just different personalities. So I guess.
But I do want our kids to stay close.
I do want our kids to stay close. I just think it's very.
Or we'll just move by them. They're not going to be able to escape us. I'm going to make sure that.
Yes. I'm glad you're saying that, because 5 years ago, I was like, you do understand, like if Berkeley or I think Vaughn. Again, maybe this is like gender roles and I'm stereotyping, but I see Vaughn, maybe he goes further and he has a family, but like the girls will need help with their children, and I want to be around them and available, and I want to be that grandma, and I want to be integrated into their everyday not everyday life, but like their weekly life. And you were like, we're getting a condo up in Montana. And I'm like, hold on, but what if our kids aren't in Montana?
No, I was probably joking. You said that. Yeah.
But you wanted to like travel. And when my parents like got the condo and went downtown, you're like, I want to do that. And I'm like, can't catch me doing that ever.
I'm
not doing that.
We're getting an Airstream.
Okay, I do that. As long as we could come back. I just don't want to.
We're going to live in it like Haley did for like 5 minutes in hers.
I forgot about that. That was not 5 minutes. It was like a year.
It was a year.
Yeah.
Anytime there was a tornado warning, I'm like, Haley, why don't you come over and hide in the closet with us?
Get in the closet with us.
So as a little side, true. Haley's Jen's assistant, and she's helping with the podcast over here.
That's
so it's
so true. She would come get in the closet.
She was going to live in the little home craze that worked for. I give you credit though, Haley. Anyway, with that being said, I do think you got to figure out and navigate the roles you have. I've been very blessed and lucky to have in-laws that are, I went to high school with John, your dad, so it was easy. It's a joke.
That is like the running joke because they're close in age.
We're 12 years apart. John and I are 12 years apart. Jen and I are 12 years apart.
Yeah, so he's like right in the middle. It's hilarious.
But it does create a unique dynamic from the standpoint. I actually genuinely do enjoy my relationship with your parents. I think they're very supportive. Your dad's funny. He's fun to be around, and he's who he is, and so I'm lucky to have a relationship and dynamic, because there are people out there, and I know people personally that do not have a good relationship.
I know a ton.
So what do you like, although like, and you get along with my parents as well.
Well, I was going to say that, but you were starting on another tangent.
Well, I wanted to go with that. I'm saying is like, Sam, but with that being,
get along with your family great. Sue, I love Sue so much, and I know that if she lived close to us, she would be at our door every day checking in. You need anything? Like
doing laundry.
Do you want me to take the kids? Do you want me to cook? I know she would be.
My mom's love language is service.
She gets home from work and she's just looking to serve, and
to the point where she'll serve my kids ice cream in bed when we tell them not to.
That's the truth. So we had to have some conversations with Sue. If you're like me and you have a hard time getting all of your vegetables or even a multivitamin in, maybe you're not so compliant with the supplements, I highly encourage you to try AG1 Next Gen. Mike got me started on AG1 probably a good year and a half ago. Mike never misses a day. He loves it so much. But AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink clinically shown to support gut health and also fill in those common nutrient gaps. 5 probiotic strains and over 75 vitamins and minerals. AG1 Next Gen replaces the need for your multivitamin, probiotics, and more. Just 1 scoop in the morning with 8 to 12 ounces of cold water adds up to a whole body health support. Again, over 75 vitamins, minerals, and probiotics, and it's whole food sourced ingredients. I take this in the morning, I take it in the afternoon, I take it at night. I honestly take it whenever I can think about it. Mike is very rigid about taking it first thing in the morning, which I believe is what they want you to do. If you have not tried AG1, maybe you've been hesitant because you're not sure about the green drink. Oh my gosh, they have new flavors now. The berry flavor is delicious. I can literally down that thing very quickly, whereas the original flavor, it took me some time of getting used to that. So I highly encourage you trying the berry flavor if you're brand new and you want to start with something that tastes great. You don't need a code for this. If you head to my link, drinkag1.com/Jennifer Todrick, you will get your free welcome kit. It's a $76 value when you subscribe. It includes free AG1 travel packs in each flavor, a bottle of vitamin D3K2, a shaker bottle, a canister, and a metal scoop. Head to the link in my description box, or you can type out drinkag1.com/Jennifer Todrick. Again, that is drinkag1.com/Jennifer, JENNIFER, Todrick, TODRYK. And you can grab your free welcome kit when you subscribe to AG1.
So these are 2 things we have. So there is other questions, and this is a good I guess transition.
No, it's not, because you have your dad and Kathy, and they live close to us. And
let's pin this because we're going to talk about boundaries.
Don't leave anyone out.
We're going to talk boundaries with parents, and then we're going to talk about I guess our perspective, what we do if hypothetically we had an in-law we didn't get along with.
I'm not good with boundaries.
So, but anyway, continue on with my parent, with I guess the other, because I don't want to cut them out.
No, you don't. And so with your family, we kind of have a different dynamic than my family, and we had to talk about divorce and things a lot quicker because Mike comes from a divorced parents, a divorced family, divorced parents. And his dad and stepmom live very close, which is an amazing thing. And so while Sue lives up in Wisconsin with Dawn, and so I have a great relationship I feel like with everybody. Everyone's easy, and I hope I'm easy.
Yeah, and this is
to go along with,
for a little, I guess, transparency. I don't know what the right word of that is. My dad didn't live in the same city as me when I was growing up. So I always had a good relationship with my dad as much as I could, but he wasn't
city or state.
Both.
I was about to say.
Yeah, he lived he was in Minnesota and I was in Wisconsin, and then when it was high school, he was in Illinois. Okay. Close enough to drive. It was about an hour away from driving, so I got to see him more in high school. Okay. Than I did earlier, but my stepmom was a flight attendant, so we were able to go a lot and travel a lot, despite not, we were very middle lower class from a standpoint of income. So we didn't go vacations. I never went out of state until I was in high school on a school trip that I went on. That was just the means that we had growing up. Right. Never felt that I was wanting. I always felt that I was loved and everything. So that's things I credit my mom and my dad and everyone as best as they could. They took care of us, and I really didn't feel like I was wanting for anything, despite not having a lot of excess ability. Right.
I wanted Abercrombie and Fitch sweatshirts a lot. Yeah, that would be my want.
Yeah,
I didn't get them. They were like $80 a pop, but I really did want that.
I went to TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
It's where we got, I remember like, oh, they got guests there. And there was a store called Chess King to all the 80s and 90s kids out there. If you remember Chess King, do a little like and subscribe because it's awesome. It was literally all like Z Cavarici, Gerbeau, all the stuff that mattered in high school. And that's when I had a job and I would actually buy my own stuff. I was
just about to say, I remember buying like Hollister and PacSun and American Eagle in high school, but that's because I had a job. Right. So I would spend my money I started at 15.
By the way, Z Cavarici, do you know what Z Cavaricis are?
What?
Z Cavarici pants. They need to come back.
Z Cavarici?
It's like the one style that hasn't come back. They were like the super peg tight. They're really big, almost umbrella pants.
Like MC Hammer?
Kinda, yeah, pants? Yes. But they were like dress pants. MC Hammer was more like parachute pants where they were like, but yes, very much MC Hammer. Okay. It's the one style that hasn't come back. Which also,
probably
sidebar,
for a reason.
What is up with style just cycling quicker now?
Oh, because of social media?
It's social media. It was skinny jeans, 100%. Now it's super baggy. Every kid's wearing the exact stuff I wore in high school, which is big sweatshirts and big pants, and then literally, I think in 6 months, it's going to go back to skinny jeans again. It's wild.
If you're really asking me, it's not even like I think, it's hard stance no. Social media is what's doing it because of influencers and content creators. You always have to be first and be
I'm going to change my style.
Really quick. So they change design styles, change a lot quicker now, clothing, because you have to be the one that finds the next thing.
Sure.
And so it naturally evolves much quicker. That's why, have you noticed like every year something is hard in and hard out from last year?
Well, no.
To where like things would last like 10 years. Like skinny jeans was like a 10-year, 15-year run.
Yeah.
And now it's like hard out the last year and a half. And then now people are like, bring back the skinny jean. And now they're trying to advocate and they want to be the influencer that's like, hey, let's bring out our skinny jeans again. I'm telling you, it's like whiplash because everybody's trying to be the trendy one first.
Do you know what I've seen some dudes at the gym wearing now? These are guys wearing it, like are bell-bottom sweatpants. Swear. Yes. Like in style. I don't know
if I like a man.
Bell-bottom like pants. Bell-bottom pants, but like bell-bottomed sweatpants. So it's like athleisure bell-bottoms blinged out, like for real. Not blinged out like shiny, but I'm saying like wearing Rolexes and stuff. So it's like it's a style. Anyway, we got off topic.
You're not gonna wear the bell-bottom pants though, right, honey? Your legs are too short. It'll shorten you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You know what the best part is? I can wear platform shoes with them. You'll never know.
Oh, we'll know. We'll see it.
6'2" Mike walking around.
Those are a heck of a platform shoe. They're like 9 inches. Yeah.
It's like, you would no one would notice. Nobody would notice. It's great.
Mike.
Anyway, going back to my quick childhood sidebar. They lived in different states, and my dad moved here after my brother moved here as well. So my brother
recently,
moved down,
like 10 years ago.
Within the last 10 years.
13.
Yeah, so they've been down here, and it's created an opportunity for me to develop a relationship with him that I didn't have because of proximity. And even more, which is cool, is that it's allowed him to have a relationship with my kids, right? Yeah. And that's one thing that's been pretty awesome to see is like, despite not having him every day to live and grow up with, he is here and he is available. And it is something that fortunately, my heart wasn't hardened through past circumstances of not having him available. And I know people do struggle with that. Which is a
choice.
I believe it is a choice. And again,
you're choosing to do that.
It all depends on the level, I guess, of trauma. If you have abuse and things like that, which it wasn't the case. It was more just divorce and not separation, yes, right? Exactly. So there are circumstances that are very different that people have to go through different healing processes with. But like, look, I was young enough. I was 3 when they got divorced, and it was just kind of the way it was. And that's the way I looked at it, and it's what I knew. And do I wish things were different? Berkeley literally asked me yesterday about that. She was like,
she asked? Just
about like, do you wish your dad and mom stay together? I'm like, well, of course I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's not what happened. And I go, Grandpa Mike's happily married to Grandma Kathy, and they got 2 great kids. I got my brothers because of it. I said, so there's things and circumstances that like are where they are because of what occurred. And I can't say that it wasn't. I go, but yeah, do I wish I had moments with? Of course I do. Yeah. I go, but so one thing is, I don't know if she just thinks about it, but.
Well, a lot of people would not answer that way, Mike. That was a really good answer. You keep it positive, and it's not like shiny, happy fakeness.
No.
I think you mean the truth in it, which is it's great that we have a relationship now. Why would I choose to not have a relationship based off of the childhood stuff? But Mike, I think that's rare. I think a lot of people do hold on to that, and it really does affect them until their parent dies, and then they're have huge remorse and regret.
Yeah.
So I just want to commend you. I've never been through that. I would hope I would also be like that. But I also know my heart, and I'm like, you know, if one of my parents messed up right now and made a horrible choice and was wrong to the other, I would have a hard time. Yeah, I would lay into them. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, sure. I would have a hard. So you are a peacekeeper in that.
But on
regard.
the flip side, and I didn't say this Berkeley, like, well, they could have stayed together and it could have been awful, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
I could have been around fighting. There are circumstances that you really don't know what could occur to, like, you know, we paint this picture of, like, we only have this hindsight is 2020 viewpoint. Mm-hmm. Right? We look back and like, oh, well, I wish my parents had done this different. I wish they would have done that. Well, it didn't. Like, where we are is where we are.
Right.
And I think that's my perspective of things is if you look back and wish things were different,
you're getting robbed of life.
You kind of are because you're not looking forward.
Yes.
Right? What did I say in the last podcast? You know, that
can't remember.
Present's a gift.
Couldn't tell you. Oh, present's a gift. Yeah. Pun intended.
Yeah. The present is a gift, and it is.
The present is a gift. Yeah. No, and
the future is what we always strive for. But the point is, the past is done, right?
Yeah.
And the way I have to look at it is the past as it is. It's almost the point where it's developed us and created part of who we are, goods and bads, right? But we can't wish things to be different.
No.
You can wish, but that's not going to change anything. It's not going to help anything. And that's even from
that manifesting out of here.
It really, it needs even from a standpoint of relationships you have with people.
Yeah.
If a person is and people don't change much. I think the data even says like about 18 to 21 years old. The character of that person is pretty defined on who they are.
In what age?
About 18 to 21 years old.
I feel like you're an idiot at 18 and 20 years old. You are. So I hope that's wrong.
No, but I'm saying.
But I think you mean like how you think.
The core character of who you are.
Okay.
Doesn't change much past that time.
Okay.
I think it's around 21 years old, and you can change, but that person can only change when they're old. And that's another thing that people deal with codependencies, and I can change that person. That's not real. You can't change anyone, in my opinion. People can change.
Mike's done it. Listen to him, guys.
You can be
He's tried.
You can be an influence on people.
Yeah.
You can be a positive place of understanding and a safe spot for them to be able to communicate. But your ability to like will them or pray them into changing, you can pray for them, but it's through them and God. That's the two places that real change occurs. So point is this, is if somebody is in there and there's small things that bother you, you have a hurt from the past, a relationship, but if you can move on, and the way I looked at this is going back to what the whole point of this conversation is, because we're talking about our family and then our relationships. If there's hurt that you've had in the past, is that going to impact your ability for that person to have a relationship with your kids? Right?
Yeah.
And if that person is genuinely there trying, then give them the chance. Let them be there. You can still be, give a little guardedness. Again, abuse and things like that, totally different. But if it's about,
Well, I think we've both seen it in various people we know, where whether it's a hurt family member or a parent, or it's a dad, an ex, and they got divorced, you telling your kids what you think is the truth and being transparent, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that they're always ready for the truth. And what you're doing is you're really, what you just said, you're robbing that child of having a relationship. Oh, you mean like
you're telling them all the details?
Yes.
Like, hey, in the past, my dad this, or my mom did this, or whoever you're saying, like, if you overshare, sometimes it'll change the perspective. I actually agree with that.
I understand we're kind of in a phase of like gentle parenting and like tell them everything. And I think that's really hurtful because a child isn't as developed and can't understand real world things until a certain age. I even think, just my opinion, if something did happen say something had happened to us and we divorced, and say Berkeley is talking to me as a 18 to 20-year-old and she's like, what really happened? I mean, and say you did something horrible and there's infidelity or something, I think I would even tread lightly on that and be like, there were some hurt things, and I don't know, I'm not there, but I still wouldn't be like, your dad freaking cheated on me. I just feel like what you're doing is you're trying to get this child on, sometimes I feel like people try to get their kids on their side.
Yep.
And all you're doing is like crushing that child to that relationship. Think about it. That's their dad. Like, they don't want to know all that. Like, that's their dad, and they need to help their whole life now. Can they get over what you placed on them? And someone who I think did a really, really good job with that is my aunt. Mm-hmm. And
for sure.
She has fostered only a great relationship with her ex, and she has done nothing but encourage Abby.
Co-parenting and
they co-parented. She said it took them a year to get it on good right tracks, but they did it the whole time. And when I tell you that woman has a lot to be hurt and mad about, not my story to tell, but I just have never seen anyone navigate it like she navigated it.
Well, I mean, I can give my mom a lot of credit for that as well too.
Yeah.
You know, so one thing is that my mom always encouraged.
I get like emotional talking about
to have a good relationship with my dad. She would remind, but like even to the point when I was in college and they were divorced. I mean, gosh, when I was 3, if I was 18 years old, so 15, 16 years later, she'd be like, "It's your dad's birthday. Come, tomorrow. Make sure you call him." Like things that she would still remember to be like there to encourage a relationship. She never, to me, when I was growing up, ever talked negative about.
I've never heard her say one single negative thing about your dad to this day.
Yeah,
I've never heard her.
That's the thing is, and look, my dad's pretty open about the past and the mistakes he made. So it's not like I'm sharing anything that he wouldn't share on his own. And he's come through a lot of rehabilitation and growth and the salvation of Christ and a lot of things that he's been able to help other men through the struggles that he's dealt with to really create it is his ministry, right? Yeah. And with that, because he's, God's used his pain to create growth and help for others as well, right? But with that being said, that doesn't mean that it's like as a son, I'm like, well, that's great. You
have to choose to see that as a positive, for sure.
But with that being said, it never, in those formative developmental times I have, my mom wasn't pitting us
being subjected
against to my dad. It wasn't this like me versus you. If you're living with me, we're going to not be against your dad. And I know people that have gotten divorced that put their kids in the middle. And I would encourage people, if you're in that situation, I know you got to get out of that.
Be the bigger person.
Don't put your kids in the middle. And if the other person's doing it as well, that's a hard one because I don't know how to fix that situation, but it's definitely not a fair situation to be in if the kids are being put in the middle, because you got two parents that have two different perspectives that both love the kids and sometimes are doing things. And what their thing is right because they're trying to do it out of love and I'm going to protect myself and do things. It's hard. That's a hard situation. I haven't experienced it. So I can't really give any advice.
Well, you have. You grew up in it.
Right, I did.
And it was done correctly.
It was done correctly. But the point is that if I'm saying how to fix and navigate a situation, because there are people in that, right?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I have no entitlement or right to speak on that topic.
But what you can change is you can be the place of change in the positive for your kids.
Yeah.
Right. That's the place that you can set the example, and this is where wow, we got kind of off subject on this one, navigating that.
I think it's all family
relationship. It is family. But those are things in the past about how we grow and how we came into. So I said we're going to put some pins in and we're going to circle back about boundaries in a way that would be related more, I guess, in the standpoint of where people are in circumstances where they're not, their in-laws are there and they just have overbearing in-laws. So what would you do with that? I'm really big on communication. Yeah.
I don't like conflict. I don't seek it out. I don't want it, but I never run from it. And that's just a personality thing. Sure. I'm an 8. I'm an Enneagram 8. I'm a challenger. I like loyal. I like justice. I like fair. If there's a problem, I'm not the one who's going to fake smile at you in public and feel good about that. I'd rather reach out and try to have a conversation about it and clear the air or fix it. Or if it doesn't fix, at least I tried. And so I'm like that with my parents too. And I haven't had, this sounds crazy, but I have never had like a tiff with my brothers. Like it's not, like a stupid, like remember on our wedding night, like Kevin and I were like mad at each other that night.
We were.
But it was like something so dumb. But I've never had like a conversation with my brothers. Like my brothers have never come to me and be like, you hurt my feelings when, and I've never gone to my brother and be like, you hurt my feelings when, because honestly, they don't hurt my feelings. Like I can't remember when they ever hurt my feelings. And so I'm lucky in that regard. If I had a tricky in-law situation, I would challenge myself to, if it's really dumb and small, if it was small and it was like a personality thing that she or he can't change, I would suck it up for the betterment of being happy and joyful, and we have a good family, and like putting myself not first. If it was a big thing to where I'm thinking bad thoughts or like mean thoughts, or I'm disgruntled, or if it's affecting us, I would 100% say, hey, let's chat about this. This makes me feel, and I would try to find what the middle is, because sometimes people don't even know what they're doing, and you didn't even give them a chance because you won't talk to them.
Right. That's true. Or they're doing what they think is in their best perspective. Because if you have an in-law who's saying, hey, as a parent, this is what you should do. There's, again, people have the very easy ability to be sideline coaches or backseat drivers, right? To tell you what to, meaning that like if you're doing something and you're like your kids, like, oh, you're too strict on your kids, or you're not strict enough. You should be spanking. You shouldn't be spanking.
Oh,
There's
like
a lot,
parents?
like when parents are giving guidance to you, you're like, you absolutely disagree with because you've set the rules up for your family,
right? And
that can get discouraging. This is small from my mom. The one thing is my mom is we go visit my mom a couple times a year up to Wisconsin, and she loves to spoil the absolute crap out of our kids.
Oh, she feeds them total junk,
sugar, and junk. And it did
with the side junk.
And she does it out of love.
Yeah, of course.
She really does.
She wants them to like her a lot.
Well, it's not about liking, because I think it makes her feel good because the kids get excited.
Totally, because they're like deprived of like a lot of junk.
And we've had conversations. Hey, Mom, can you please not do
It went from really
this?
like soft and like jokey to like one time Mike was like, Mom, I literally just told you no, like in the kitchen. And she's like, well, like.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, here's my perspective of that. We only see her twice a year.
Yeah.
And if she spoils the crap out of them for 2 days, it's not the end of the world.
I think we've met in the middle, because you and I had that.
It's not that big of a deal.
We said that, but then she also probably living next to your sister, who's also concerned about the sugar. I think she's been trained a little more from your sister, to where now she asks. Yes. Oh, she never used to ask. So now she at least asks, like, can I give the kids these? And then she'll be like, she'll find like candy or like some kind of sweet gummy, and she's like, it's organic. Like, it's hilarious. And I'm like, perfect. And then, it's like 25 grams of sugar for a candy.
My mom has a hard time with like, if a kid's breaking down and we're disciplining, and sometimes you got to discipline as a parent, even at your parents' house. And my mom would have a hard time with like,
she would step in.
She'd want to step in and coddle, right? Where we're like, hey, this is not the time to do it. Because right now the kid did something wrong, and we are trying to correct the behavior instead of, and that's the peacemaking side of my mom. And she is just trying to, it's out of love. And it's, that's where we've learned, like, okay, step out.
But if anyone, this might be relevant to anyone married and with in-laws, whenever we have to have, and it hasn't been a lot, but when Mike did have that talk with Sue about not interjecting in the middle of disciplinary action, Mike had that conversation. I did not take that on. I told Mike, that's your mom. She needs to hear it from you. And so I will say, if you're like a strong personality like me and you're trying to deal with your in-law, I would say I would encourage you to let your husband deal with it.
Well, vice versa, too.
It goes better because it's her son. And then also, I don't know. I know we're all families, so hear me. But like, it is his family. I want you to deal with your family's things.
And I think that's fair. And vice versa. If you had something, with your parents, if they were coming over too much or whatever, like, hey,
coming over too much.
I mean, they don't, but they like to come over.
Mom and Dad, you do not.
But I'm just saying, like,
but if he did, that's a good one. Because I've said, Mike, they're coming over again. Are you good with that? He's like, yeah, I love it. But I always
I said that as a joke because you're like, they're coming over again this weekend. I'm like, great, I like it. It's fun. I enjoy hanging out with them.
We love it.
But with my mom, it was a simple thing.
I just love that. That's the only thing you can think of.
And I, it's to me, it's just hey, Mom, we're doing this. It's not, we're not. I know you're doing this out of love, and that's where it's too. It's like, but right now isn't the right time. Can you please just give us a moment? And then when they're done, go spoil them. That's fine. Then go coddle them and lay it out. Like, that's, all those things are okay to do. Mm-hmm. But as I remember, that's how she treated me as a kid, right? And so, and by the way, she's a phenomenal grandmother.
She is.
So, anyway.
She's a good mom too. Mike does nothing wrong. Yeah. He's perfect.
Well, it's when you're thinking, and so here's the funny thing about my standpoint is, so you talk about Enneagrams, right? I'm a 3.
Yeah.
Achiever with 9, which is peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
3-9 or 3-7, which is skeptic, because I am skeptic.
7's the enthusiast. That's my wing.
No, then I have the one that's the skeptic. Because I have skeptic and peacemaker as my wings. I know that for a fact.
I only have one. Your wing is what wings your number. So I'm an 8 wing 7.
We did a whole podcast on this last time. You go under stress.
I think you're a wing 1. You're a reformer.
You wing to the ones that line out to you. It's set up in a triangle. It goes under positions of stress. You go to the one place in places of peace. You go towards the other one, right? So stress, I go to skeptic, and peace, I go to, I guess, enthusiast, peacemaker. Yeah.
For stress?
Yeah, it's under that.
You're telling me that you're a peacemaker in stress. Ain't buying it. I think you have a different wing.
Skeptic. It wings to the one it's connected to. I know.
Okay, here we go. Here's
your
a chart.
challenger, and yours would be an instigator or a giver. That's what it wings to.
I think I know which one it is, but I want to say I'm
you
a giver.
wing to it. That's
what do you think I am?
It wings to the two. I'm telling you.
Wait, in stress I give, right? I'm like, no, just do what you want to do. Yeah. So if you're a 3, you have to wing 2 or 4. That's how it's designed.
Giver or individualist? I don't know. Am I individual? I don't think I'm an individualist. I guess I'd be giver.
You need to take the test, fool. I don't know.
I'm definitely
I'm not an Enneagram doctor.
No, but I know, but I always looked at it as that I do have a skeptical viewpoint of a lot of things, and at the same time, I know for a fact, under stress, I am a peacemaker. That's what it is.
See the wings?
Yeah, but look at the lines. The lines, what you can do.
That's different. That's not a wing. No. You said it incorrectly.
We did a whole podcast 2 years ago on this. Well, we can go back and listen to our own advice.
Okay, so I'm an 8 challenger, but I'm a wing enthusiast who just wants to be happy all the time. So
sure.
I'm a challenger and I have opinions, but I also just literally want to goof around and act like an idiot most of my days. Yeah. But why did we get on an Enneagram?
I was saying about peacemaker. I guess under stress, I'd be a pacemaker. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So that would make sense. That's why it connects to that. But then skeptic. But I'm skeptical about some things.
So am I, but that's different.
All right. Anyway, with that being said, point is in our relationships, the peacemaker aspect comes out to me with my family. I do try to create peace. And that also might be a third 100%. Child thing as well, where it's like the baby. Just get along, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, please.
You also had 2 sisters. So I can imagine the squabbles in your house with sisters.
For about 7 days a month, there was situations.
See, growing up,
I would tell you become keenly aware when mood changes start to shift and irritability starts to come up as a young boy. You're like, okay, what is happening right now? And then you become really calm. You're like, okay, this is just hormones.
Yeah. No. So growing up,
more tears than normal and more fighting than normal, and then suddenly it's back to normal.
I was about to say the only thing I remember, we were talking about this a few nights ago, actually, our childhoods and remembering our siblings. And so Mike grew up with 2 sisters. I grew up with 2 brothers. He's the youngest. I'm the oldest. So it's crazy how we have polar opposite. I kind of love that. But I grew up with 2 boys. Even though they're younger than me, I was always trying not to be odd woman out. If they collected baseball cards and were trading in the room, I sure as hell would have my Bugs Bunny leftover binder and all their crap cards that they didn't want. And I'd be like, let's trade, guys. And no one would trade with me because I never bought actual cards.
Yeah,
I just took their junk.
all their garbage ones they didn't want.
But I really wanted to be included. They were fighting and wrestling all the time. I feel like I missed out on conflict. Maybe there wasn't a lot of with the girl, they fight over clothes. I've had lots of
you mean sister to sister?
Sister to sister. Since I didn't have a sister, I always was felt like I was missing something a little bit growing up. I was like, there's only 2 things that I remember in my childhood being in my head well, that's kind of sad about my life. Only 2 things. 1, I didn't have grandparents close. Everyone had grandparents coming to things and I never had my grandparents.
Right.
And I didn't like that very much, but it was what it was. 2, and I knew that. 2, I didn't have a sister. And I was like, oh, I never, everyone else had a sister that I knew.
Sister.
And I always thought I was missing out on something. And now that I'm older and being around women, I love women. I love my friends. But maybe brothers are easier.
I mean, we
don't fight.
It's a different relationship.
We don't talk about we talk about deep stuff, but it's not
we talked about this in the friend standpoint. I know. Literally in the last podcast.
It sounds like I'm not a girl's girl. Yeah. I am a girl's girl. It's just, it is nice to just, when we talk, everything's always good. It is nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me take it back. But what you miss is you talking about how your middle sister would love on you and give you hugs and
both of them did.
My brothers didn't come up and tell me that he loved me and give me hugs. I didn't get that part of from my siblings. I didn't get physical touch. I didn't get, I'm proud of you, good job. Whereas women and sisters are more, they'll rip your hair off, but they'll also coddle you at the end of the day. I didn't have that.
I didn't fight with my sisters much at all. My oldest sister was 5 years older than me, so I probably annoyed the absolute crap out of her.
You did. My youngest brother annoyed the crap out of me.
Probably was the most annoying human. And I actually remember being super annoying. Actually, in my mind, I'm like, wow, I was a really annoying kid to them. But it was about wanting to be there because you know, when she's in high school and I'd run downstairs and make fart noises and stuff. And I had this keyboard that I could record, I don't know if you remember Ferris Bueller, but so I'd play Mary Had a Little Lamb and farts.
You had to have been so annoying.
Like, be as loud as I could, and I would sneak downstairs where my sister's room was, and I'd just be in the hallway playing it. And then, of course, like, if she had a boy over, they would laugh, and so it only encouraged me, right? And she's like, "Get out, Michael!" But she was very, my oldest they were both very sweet to me. They were very loving to me, outside of annoying the crap out of them. I did blackmail my oldest sister a lot.
Please do tell. What do you mean?
She had a party. When my mom would leave, she'd have a party and then I was like, I don't know how to get some money out of this.
You're not supposed to have a party. Have a party. What did you do?
I made her pay me to not tell Mom.
I am absolutely dead.
She did.
How old were you?
Probably 6th or 7th grade. 7th grade,
so
probably.
So smart.
Yeah, 7th grade.
Well done.
I know. Yeah.
I am all for it. This is the sibling stuff I didn't have.
Yeah.
Blackmailing each other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I made some cash.
Gosh, well done.
And then I counted it. I was
good
like,
business.
I'd be like in front of me, like 1, 2. And I was like, I think I only made her pay like $20, but that was a lot of money back in like 1990 probably.
Do you know why I like that? 1, entrepreneurship. You saw a problem, you solved it, and you made money doing it.
Yeah.
2, you had your sister's back.
I did.
And I like that too. There's like 2 parts to that.
Anyway, so
that's hilarious.
But it's now you talked about the sister relationships. Like we have Berkeley and Vivian, and they're only 4 years apart, right? 3 years, actually 3.5 years.
And can I interject here to where Mike can back me up? When I found out I was having a girl, I was like kind of terrified of the sister relationship because I hadn't navigated that. Do you remember that, where I went through that like the first year? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like, I just want them to love each other. Like, I want sisters to love each other. You're supposed to be the best friend. And like, what if they're not? And I remember like spiraling, being like, how do I encourage them? And I'm just emulating what my parents did because we're all very close. And so I'm just emulating that. No matter the gender, your siblings are your people. They are your family. They will always have your back. They'll always be here. Yeah. So I'm just going to stick to that because I don't know anything else.
Yeah. Well, with them, I mean, they're young enough right now that there's very little drama because they're only 6 and 10. But the only thing right now you can see is like Vivian's still in that I want to copy Berkeley phase, right?
And that does. I think she'll be there for life.
And that does kind of annoy Berkeley a little bit, but Berkeley is also, she'll get annoyed and then she's like, fine. And then she gets over it because she's also very, like, fortunately, Berkeley's pretty sweet. And peacemaker for the most part, and please her. She gets when she gets tired, she gets a little bit more frustrated about things, but she does allow her to kind of come into that. They do fight about alone time. Like if I'm driving a car, they want to spend time with me, or vice versa with you. They sometimes want that one-on-one time, which is completely. So as Berkeley's like, hey, I kind of want to just drive with Dad. And Vivian's like, I'm going with you.
Well, I'm coming too.
She's like, I just want to like do this.
Berkeley's, and even sometimes Berkeley will play it smart, and she'll be like. She'll tell me, she's like, I'm going to go with you, but I'm going to say out loud, I'm going to go with Dad, and then I'm going to change my mind. I'm like, what is this mind game? She's like, I'm going to go with Dad. And Vivi's like, I'm going to go with Dad. And Berkeley goes, never mind, I'll go with Mom. And Vivi's like, oh, I'll go with Mom. Like, changes instantly. Yeah. And Berkeley's like so mad.
But they just want to be, the cool thing is, so and I guess there's other questions about how do we create a family culture? How do we, say no to our family without having guilt. And I think those are a couple things we can have it on. But with the kids, the one thing I say with our family, like, we can't choose our family. You can have a chosen family.
Yeah.
Right. But our family is where they are. And I, talked to Vaughn about this. It's about, setting those moments up and hopefully having that point where like, there's going to be friction and frustration. Your kids are going to fight. They are going to fight. Mm-hmm. Most kids fight. Probably some families, maybe they don't. Our kids annoy each other. They poke at each other. Right. So it's hopefully that there's more net positive that come out. And this thing, as I say, is like we can't choose them, but we love them. And the one thing is, as a families are always there, should be there to love them. And we talk about our kids, set a point of like creating positive memories with each other. Is it going to happen all the time? No, but we can do our best to like encourage it.
Right.
Because what I don't want is have is an adult relationship when they're like their arms distance with each other. And then there's unfortunately, there's a lot of families out there. Yeah. It is sad that there are families out there that don't have a great relationship with each other, and their chosen point to not talk to each other. Maybe they have to do that and it's sad. It is. I feel bad for people that have that circumstance,
right?
For whatever reason they are, and I don't know what the reasons are, but I hope that's the prayer I have, is our family never gets to that.
Well, I hate to say it, and it's going to piss a lot of people off, but I think it's much easier to be mad and pick out things you don't like about family rather than work on it. It's way easier to just be like, and push people away.
Well, there's hurt. I mean, there's people sometimes,
and there's,
when you've been hurt in the past, people put walls up because you don't want to pick those scabs again. Because if you have a scar and you're like,
but that's what I'm saying though.
Don't want to go back to that.
It's much easier to find where people do wrong by you than right by you. And like, I think people who maintain good, like you, how you've maintained to have a positive relationship with people in your family and parents, and you chose to do that. And you know for sure that you could choose a different direction, and you're not going to do that because why? Right. You've said that. Why would I do that? And I think sometimes people get in their own way, and by not choosing to move through it, they sit in it, and then they're just killing themselves, like emotionally. Yeah. It's like
sometimes, I think that's one thing is I think people often try to, if you relive your past too much, it creates, you never let something heal.
Yeah.
And that can be contrary to maybe actually, I believe there's more data even associated with this. Like, too much counseling isn't good.
Right.
And I will stand by that.
Right.
Too much isn't good.
I agree with you.
Proper counseling is appropriate.
Yeah.
Proper help is appropriate.
Because that person is supposed to help you pull through,
if you
right?
Live,
to the positive.
Correct. If you relive things over and over and over and over again without any intent to heal,
right,
it'll only create more negative emotions and more things. And there's another thing that happens is we often, and I don't know if you know this, like, we create memories. A lot of our memories are fake.
I believe that. Yeah, I'll see like a picture and it like creates a memory of that photo, but I don't actually remember that memory, but I think it's a memory, but now I'm not sure.
If you have a third person view of your memory, that's not a real memory. Because you're living through the picture, you're living through the moment.
That makes sense.
And if you're thinking through it and you're seeing yourself in it's not a real memory.
Like it's a movie. If you see it as a movie, that's probably from something.
And there's probably very strong, and there's real memories you can have. Like, I remember 9/11 that day for sure. There's things that you have these moments like, wow, that like, big impactful
because you were an adult. We're talking about when you're a kid.
Sure.
Memories.
But even
are harder to.
Even that point is that some of our memories aren't actually really as real as we think they are, because we create stories in our head to complete the blank. It's where our brain works.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're wrong to have that memory.
No,
But there might not be full validity in what you're feeling.
Right.
Anyway, the point is this: I'm not saying don't get counseling to people, because I'm telling you, 100% tell people get counseling,
be a good counselor.
Get help, talk to people. Yeah. If you have experiencing anything, you definitely want to have people a sport of love and of truth and of guidance to get you through the past, to be able to mend you, to be able to find real healing and forgiveness. Because without forgiveness, you can't ever heal.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing is how do you know.
True. People forgive people for doing really heinous things.
Oh, jeez.
And so if you
Charlie Kirk's wife forgave the killer. I mean, it's wild.
If you think about that, it like what people are forgiving people, doing things.
Yeah.
If you look at your life and you're like, okay, I should be able to forget, and there's people have gone through some really traumatic stuff. So there's obviously like caveats here, but if you're talking about just from like a divorced family and all the trauma that comes with that, like, Mike has lived, I really can't talk about this because I didn't have that, but Mike's sitting here with a positive attitude, and that's through work and choice. I think it is. I think it's your choice.
I have had a good life.
Yeah.
Have I had a perfect life? No.
Right.
I don't think anyone has.
Right.
There's no such thing. That's a fake thing, right?
Right.
But I don't, choose to live in trauma. I don't choose to live in hurt, because I do believe there's a mindset and an aspect to it. Again, everyone's circumstance is different.
Right.
Little sidebar on one things.
We didn't talk anything about boundaries.
How do you so boundaries. One thing is we,
I don't like that word. I don't know why.
Well,
I think it's kind of offensive.
Okay, let's talk. No.
I do. I don't like it. I feel like if someone were to tell me like, Jen, I love you so much, but this is my boundary for you, that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it sounds
negative.
It sounds negative.
It sounds like a hot word right now.
Okay,
like, I'm going to put a boundary on you. Like, it's kind of hurtful. Like, if you think about it.
You make a word for it then.
I would think about, yes. Instead of being like,
I'm going to call it a fence.
I guess behind, let me restate this. I'm
going to call it my prison. You can't.
Let me restate this. If I'm talking to Mike about a boundary with a family member, fine, because it's behind closed doors. But as far as like when you're talking to someone to their face and you're like trying to navigate a problem, I probably wouldn't come out with, I'm going to put a boundary. I'm going to talk about my boundaries with you.
Why would you say that?
That's rude. Like, yeah, I wouldn't like that.
No.
I guess I don't think I have any boundaries. I think what I've learned is like.
Of course we do.
I'm trying to even think of like my parents. I think what I've learned as an adult, like coming into being an adult now, an adult child and the first child, in my mind, me disagreeing with my parents' thoughts or opinions is not disrespect. I've never thought that. So I had to be
I think
okay.
You maybe used to kind of feel that way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think that was how I was taught. If I'm going to be really honest, I think I was taught that if you give your opinion back, it kind of is like back talking, or it's like being disrespectful. But now I'm 38 years old. I don't just,
You're an adult.
disagree. And I have my own, and I'm not the same person as my mom or my dad. I'm different. I would say I'm like a mix of both of them, really.
Well, it's what I've even said, like sometimes when you're, if you have your kids' friends and stuff like that, we just always remember you're the adult and what you say kind of goes, and you can be kind of like, you can be in a position of authority to be like, stop.
Yeah.
Don't do this, guys. Like, even if they're not your kids,
it's hard. I know
because
it's hard.
you are an adult and they're children, and at the same time, but you're now an adult. And I guess it's, so one of the questions, how do you say no without feeling guilt? How do you say no to your family without feeling guilty? I mean, that's part of boundary. I actually
don't have guilt with that. If we're really busy, I'll say, I'm so sorry, guys. But I also, you know why I think I have that comfort and that confidence in saying no is because my family does not pressure me and make me feel bad for saying no. So I'll put that out there. My parents are really good about like totally understand. My mom specifically is really, really good because she's a mom of 3 kids. She knows like it's crazy. She'll call me and be like, if we shouldn't come, we will not come. Like she will one off me if she feels like it's too much. So they give me the space to feel okay being like, no. But I also don't say no a lot. If they want to come over and they're willing to drive to us, I'm like, come on.
We're like, hey, we got too much going on this weekend. It's just a busy day. Let's just postpone another time. And and I think it's about how you healthily communicate things. And guilt's often there's 2 places you can have guilt from. You can put guilt upon yourself, or somebody can putting guilt upon you as well. Like there are people that guilt trip people. That is a very real thing. Yeah. But then that's the perspective. How do you receive that? And again, going back to my perspective of, are you doing the right thing for your family? Are you doing it out of selfishness or not selfishness? And if it's not selfish, you're doing the right things. Hey, and if a person wants to guilt trip you, it's kind of on them. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, that's not on you, right? That's on them to do the guilt trip. Hey, love you, but not comfortable with this. The only small example kind of have is kind of setting up our own tradition. Remember, we used to travel with our family in Christmas time to go visit my family. Mm-hmm. Where we were planning going back and forth every single year. That was kind of the goal. Like, spend one year with Jen's family, another year with my family.
Lasted 1 year.
And I was like, I'm
Christmas.
done. I think it was maybe 2 years.
Lasted 1 year, Mike.
But I was at the old.
When I was pregnant with Vaughn. We hadn't had kids yet.
No, we did one more year, and then I was like, I'm done.
No. Only that one. I cried in the bathroom of that church when the pastor was telling the story about the squirrel.
The squirrel story.
Remember that?
The most impactful Christmas story ever.
And the man found me in the bathroom sobbing, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay. I'm just away from my family." That's what you get when you marry real young.
And pregnant.
I was so sad. I did not want to be there. And I think I was probably a jerk. I didn't mean to be a jerk. I don't think you remember me. I wasn't a jerk, but I cried a lot. And I think it's also, I was very pregnant.
You were super pregnant.
So that was December. We had Vaughn in May. So I was right in the middle of my pregnancy. I was big. Like, I was feeling pregnant. Yep. And I was just like, this isn't Christmas. This isn't how it's supposed to be. And I was so selfish.
We've
like,
talked
if you
about
break
this.
it down, I was selfish.
Your family does Christmas a whole nother way. I was like, I've never seen so much crap in my entire life. Like, this is wild. This is crazy.
My family does Christmas.
8 days to open presents. It's great. I'm just kidding. But it was a whole thing. Like, your entire family came over, and then everyone brought gifts. I was like, this is wild. Fun. Different.
Hold on. He made that comment. Hold on. No. I'm going to back that real quick. You said there's presents and crap everywhere. Remember, my parents, when they first got married, they were 21 years old, 22. My mom stayed home, and my dad was a police officer. Okay? The money wasn't rolling in at the beginning. My parents were my mom, I'm going to put this on my mom, I'm sure. My mom was so good at like every single little present got wrapped individually.
Well, that's
to
what I
make
mean.
That crap spread.
No. I'm not saying
so. They still do that to this day. I do it too.
You got in an argument with me. It's a whole tradition thing. Jen's family has this stocking tradition, right? And we had stockings as well, but it had some candy. There you go. Here's your candy. It's in a stocking. Awesome, right? Jen's family wraps every piece of candy is wrapped.
Not true.
Every tiny knickknack, like a dollar store stuff, that's wrapped to the point where you got mad at me one of the first years. You're like, I guess my stocking was okay. He didn't wrap anything.
I never said that
you
to
did.
you.
Oh, Lord. I remember. Like, I felt guilty.
Said, I guess my stocking's okay.
You did.
Come on, I'm not even a gifts person.
You just said you cried when you went to my family's house at Christmas. So maybe you were being a baby. But the one thing that I was saying is that I was very hard lined about saying Christmas is going to be at our house. We have
I'm
kids
glad
now.
that you recall it that way because I thought I was going to have to be the one to be like, Mike, we're not going to see your family at Christmas. And the fact that you did it, what a blessing. Because I wanted to stay home too.
No, and I had the conversation with my family, and I talked to my sisters and mom, and I was just like, look, traveling at wintertime with all the gifts, with the kids there, it's not what I want to do.
So hard.
I want to create the tradition of having home, and plus, where does Santa? I mean, Santa is going to get confused. We wanted Santa
will get confused.
Yeah.
Santa will be like, why are these fools never home on Christmas?
Yeah, it's like, I'm dropping the gifts off here. No, but we wanted to have the traditions there. I wanted them to wake up Christmas morning to be at our house, in their bed, and have your stupid music that they're playing in the morning.
Stupid music? That is offensive. It's the Norman Rockwell Christmas
Family
album.
Christmas, which you can't.
So good.
It tells you how bad it is. They don't even stream it. It's not available anywhere except for on an old CD, which is kind of.
Are you mad at me? Like, why are you shooting these shots? Mike, it's a beautiful CD.
This is a bit. It's a joke. And it's
I'm irritated. That I'm offended. That's like.
Hey, look, Vaughn said the other day, he's like, it is tradition. So you've made it.
He's like, Mom, are you going to play the CD? I'm like, yes, I have to get out a CD player, put the CD in, and push play.
Yes.
Oh, the agony.
Great. The agony of doing it.
I'm going to look it up. Where I can
anyway, so we set that, and that's the one thing is to me was anchoring that at our home to be able to create those memories. And I told our family.
Norman Rockwell is a painter. Hold on.
Right. It is. That's what it is. But it's also the CD. Let me finish what you're doing. Okay. So as what I told my family, and I talked to them about coming to our home. If you want to be a part of it, you're welcome to be a part of it. But Christmas is at my house moving forward.
Yeah.
And I just said, and I know it may sound selfish, and it might be a little bit selfish, but this is what we're doing. This is what I want to do, and this is how we want to do it. And in order to create our own traditions, it was just basically telling our family, like, hey, you're welcome to be a part of it. If you want to come to our home, you're welcome to be part of our home. But Christmas morning, we will wake up at our house, and that's how I'm doing Christmas moving forward. I love you guys, and we'll find other holidays to do it, but Christmas is not the one we're traveling for. And that's how we did with Christmas. And
there's so many people listening probably like, I wish I could just say that. And
no, that's how we did it.
No, but that's easy for you.
What we did is we said, so my dad has Christmas a few days earlier at house. We go to his place. We open gifts up from them. They do their like a dinner there, and we kind of have a couple Christmases. But Christmas morning is at our house. So we have a party on Christmas Eve with friends and family, and then Christmas morning or Christmas Day, your family comes over. It's always been, and then we invite other people that want to come as well. But it's always been your immediate family.
It's 2 days of chaos. Christmas Eve, it's my family, his family, and
some
friends.
Employees come over, friends.
Employees, like it's just a Christmas Eve bash, and then we have to clean that up real fast because then Christmas is the next day, and then all my extended family comes for Christmas dinner after we open presents. So
we cater on Christmas Eve. We don't cook on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I left that in the past a long time ago. I decided
you don't
one
try
year.
To overdo it.
I was like, Mike, I have 3 small kids. I'm already hosting Christmas. I think I started with just making like soups and stuff, like really easy stuff.
So when we ate out of dog bowls, did it happen? If you don't know the story,
I don't remember that.
Find it. It's there.
About that.
There's plenty. Jen served Christmas meal in dog bowls.
His family in dog bowls.
They said nosh, woof, yum yum, or whatever. It was all redone.
To my defense, I don't think any of them said woof, but they did say nosh for sure. And it was my sister-in-law that was like, Jess was like, are these dog bowls?
No, I said that because I told you they were dog bowls.
Jess goes,
and you're like, no, they're not dog bowls.
I got them in the dish section.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did. Did I say I found them in the dog section?
Yes, I go, because they're dog bowls. You're like, well, they're cute. Nobody's going to notice. And then Jess was like, she's like, are these dog bowls? Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Freaking Jess.
And I was like, yes, they are.
She didn't have my back.
They are dog bowls. Anyway, so that's still a core memory.
It's so funny. And it's true. And he said it in front of everyone. Everyone realized they were eating food out of dog bowls.
But I love that soup. It was that Giada's white chili.
White bean.
I love that. So
chili,
good.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite meals we make.
Well,
anyway.
Now we don't because we cater because I'm stressed. I cannot cook 2 large meals back to back. And Christmas, my mom, I would say my mom facilitates it. Wouldn't you say that's the best? My mom's like running the kitchen as far as like, Jen, have you done this? She's definitely facilitating the meal because she's done it for decades. Yep. And I also have 3 kids running around, and
it's fun. I love Christmas at our house. It's literally, I love it. It's joyful. It's awesome. But yeah, the catering thing we did Olive Garden. Now we've been doing Armor, and it's kind of, we have
I'm thinking about a conversation I had with my mom a few years ago. My mom is like the hostess of hostesses. She does everything full out to the nines, and she is a very good hostess. Yep. I don't care as much, for being honest. And I love having people over. Yep. But if we eat on paper plates, we eat on paper plates. And
no, you don't do that. You get those fancy plastic Christmas ones.
Well, I'm talking about just in general. I don't do everything to the nines. I have people come over, and I had to realize really quickly, like if I wanted to, for my like stress and anxiety, if I wanted to be a house where people come over, I have to be okay with people coming over like last minute and me not having everything planned out. And we do take out a lot because I don't want to cook while people are over. Whereas my mom will like cook when people are over, right? So I had to tell her earlier on, I'm like, Mom, I have little kids. I do not want their memory to be me in the kitchen cooking most of the day. This has got to be easy peasy. That's when I ordered the turkey, started catering the turkey. I've never made a turkey, and I don't want to. I have nothing to prove on making a turkey myself. We order the turkey, and then everyone brings a side, or me and my mom and my aunt split that up. But anyway, I realized like I needed to be easier, and I can't do everything by myself. And I actually, just truth be told, I don't want to do everything by myself. And so I'm more than welcome for everyone to come to us and mess up our home. And I do cook some side dishes, but like everyone pitches in, and it's worked out really, really well. My mom will come over, like my parents come over a few days before Christmas, and they spend the night until after Christmas. And so my mom and I will generally be cooking on December 23rd. And that way we have Christmas Eve to hang out. We go to church, and then we're not doing a lot of cooking. Yeah. We'll do everything, breakfast, everything on the 23rd.
Christmas Eve, your dad and I go over to the brewery to pick up the food and
take 2 hours.
Maybe spend another extra hour there, just because food sometimes takes a long time. It's a really busy day.
Oh, okay.
Or we got to make sure there's quality service. We got to check out. We got to say Merry Christmas to all our guests. It's a fun time. Anyway. But that's been awesome. It's one way to create tradition, and according to our son, anytime we do something one time, it's a tradition.
I mean, like. Can we eat at Popeyes? No, Vaughn, we're not eating at Popeyes. Why? It's tradition. I go, Vaughn, you've had Popeyes one time in your entire life. Why?
Yeah, but it was 1 year ago today.
Yeah, but it was 1 year ago. Do you remember how we did it after that? Like, he ties everything, and gotta love him. He's like a master manipulator on our emotions.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
And I'm sentimental.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's the one thing Jen and I was like, well, it's a tradition.
Yeah, it's a tradition. We say that all the time. Mike will do something one time, and I'm like, well, it's a tradition now. Anyway, on that note, we have got to go. It's been well over an hour.
Man, we didn't even. Jen, there are so many other questions.
We could talk about more.
Like so many other ones that we haven't even tapped into. We could do one. We really could, because maybe next time let's just be like focused on the questions and answer the questions. We've sidebarred a lot, and this is okay, but I think it's been fun.
But I feel like when we sidebar and we don't have an outline, people get to actually hear our thoughts, like our true thoughts, versus like if we wrote out a script, then I don't want to listen to that on a podcaster. Personally, I'd rather them like flow and
go with it. I like it. That's
on that regard. If you have any suggestions or topics that you want us to talk about, please email you, me, and Mike, all written out. You, me, and Mike podcast @gmail.com. You can ask us to talk about certain things, give us your thoughts, give us feedback. If you liked what you heard and want to give us a rating, we would love and appreciate that so much. Y'all have been amazing to us.
Preferably 5.
5 stars are first. But if any, well, no, not any. We don't want the 1. Just don't. Just leave. Just don't listen anymore.
It's fine. It's all good.
I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
Have fun with your families. Love on them.
Have fun with your families.
Yeah. Love on them. That's the whole point of it.
It's true.
Love on your family.
You want to give me a hug?
Fingers. And on that note, see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.